Hey guys, John Loxy here, back with our blind playthrough of Shadowgate. So I was actually thinking, thought about a couple things. One is that I probably need to pick up this book. So I'm going to do that. Probably need to pick it up either because there's like a hidden spell to reveal secret stuff or whatever, or I'm anticipating the Sphinx. And so if it gives a riddle about nothing, I might actually require that book. Why, I'm in the center here, but there's like this, like, right here. You know, the game covers up part of it, so I wonder if I should just adjust that. Let's see, I would have to move it this way. No, the other way. How would I... I'll just leave it where it is. Saw one of the kitties walk by. Or, see? There he is. Oh, I don't know if you saw that. Here's Jack. Saw him out of the corner of the eye on the floor. And now he wants to rub his face against the microphone and get in the way. They've been sleeping all day and they've just eaten, so... You know, assuming Manny decides not to barf all over, they should be a little bit more active from this point forward. Okay, come on, Jack. Why do you not want to get in my lap? Okay, come here. I'll pick you up. Oh my goodness. Oh no, Jack. You wanna... Okay. Okay. Alright. So the other thing that I was thinking about was sort of the riddles in this game. How do you give hints? Whoa, what are you doing, weirdo? How do you give hints? How do you... Like, let's say you find, the spells, for example, right? The new spells in this, they're like, oh, it lifts stone, or whatever. So if you're paying attention, you go to that hatch, and you're like, oh, it's made of stone, let me try using the spell on it. Stuff like that makes sense. You know, how you're supposed to know that you need to punch the goblin to knock him down, that I don't know. You know, that's a little bit more trial and error, and I'd use the hint. So that's kind of my question, is how does one design a game to account for that? And I have no idea. So yeah, that was just kind of what I was thinking about. Are you gonna lay down? You're gonna lay down, weirdo cat? While he wants to, you know, stand in my lap, let's look at some of this stuff, right? So all of it, even the tables and chairs. You wipe the dust from the wooden table, revealing a high gloss finish. As you look over the chair, you inadvertently disturb a cloud of dust. A thick layer of dust covers the wooden chair. Now we have two maps. Look at map. Made from some hide-like material, this map shows the continental lands of Cal Torlin. I can't take them. And they both appear to be the same. Can I burn them? Do I want to burn them? Maybe they just took the Sphinx out of this thing. Alright, what are you doing, weirdo cat? Look at bookcase. Is it the whole... Hang on. Oh, Jesus. He's sitting next to the mouse, so he doesn't like to lay in my lap very much. He will, but he doesn't like to. What he loves to do is lay down on top of my hand while I'm holding the mouse. For whatever reason. And I'm sure you can hear him rubbing his face against the microphone. Any sound or whatever that'll be. It's even better when he, like, rubs... Oh, Jesus. Okay. No. You're laying down my hand right now. He comboed a face rub where he rubs his face against my hand into the laying down on top of the mouse. So now I'm, like, holding him off the mouse with 2 fingers. All right, hang on a sec, Jack. Come here. I do love you. Oh, you're so good. Oh, you're so good. Oh, you. You're so good. Oh, baby. Oh, Bubba. You can't see it, but his tail is twitching like crazy. Can I lift him up a little bit to show the tail? Where's the... Oh, see? There it is. There it is. Does he like to be held? No, not really. Okay. You little fluff ball. You're a cutie. I'm in the middle of something, though. I'm super happy this is not time-based, because that would be like the Nintendo one, where all of a sudden, like, your torches go down. Okay, so where do you want to go? Do you want to go lap, or would you like to go back of chair? No response? You're warm. Let's do back of chair. Let's try that. How about up here? Want to go up there? Okay. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. Okay. All right. Oh, his tail's still twitching. Next thing you know, he's going to launch himself down onto the keyboard. That would be a real pain in the ass. Look at bookcase. This bookcase is choked with tomes of every imaginable size and color. Books that litter these shelves have markings and symbols you do not recognize. Did I put a T on the end of that? Do not recognized. D. Let's try opening. You run your hand along the edges of the bookcase looking for hidden mechanisms. Nothing. What about you? Nope. You fail to find any rhyme or reason as to how the books on these shelves are arranged. Oh, are you laying down? Kind of. You look like you're gonna pounce off. Okay, nothing there. Shelves appear to be filled with collections of books rather than individual tomes. That is true. Can we read any of them? Oh, that's weird. Go to bookcase. Sensing something strange, you step closer to the books on these shelves. A series of shelves are cluttered with books of varying shapes, sizes, and colors. The accumulated knowledge in this place must be truly staggering. I agree. There's a missing book. Alright, what can we look at? Everything. Including this. It looks like maybe 2 books are missing. 3. You turn your head reading the title on the spine of the book, Mordrock's Castle of Danger. Although it's a bit difficult to read, the binding reads Invention by Abner. It's not going to be... Wait, I could take one of these? Read the title on the spine, Historia Regum Britanniae. Is each one of these... Does it actually have a name? Because this one I can take. You strain your eyes reading the small compact lettering. Yergnot knew not what had befallen her. She lay trapped in a hold of want and desire for the pretenders standing before her. Many a knight had never produced a desire the likes of this. For his part, Uther was driven by lust and hatred, unconcerned by the bastard that might be the product of this tryst. Okay. So the title of this book is Chronicles of the Twelve by historian Lothariath. Are we going to open all of them? Is this like Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls where each individual book you can actually read? It looks like it might be the case. Holy poop. Let's go back, first off. I mean, okay. As you examine the brimming bookcase, you feel the movement of air coming from someplace behind it. Looking for hidden mechanisms, nothing. You know, a scholar or two would give anything for even a few moments with the ancient books that sit on these shelves. Okay, well, so it's got to be something to do with this. This probably slides over, or who knows. Can we just straight up open it? You failed to find anything obvious. Not nothing. Alright, so what about these missing ones? This area, about the size of a thick book, is empty. What about you? Okay, what about this one? I mean, I can't open it. With an audible click, the book slides into the slot like it was made to be there. Well, now what? Am I still missing one? Do I... let's see. The book comes out a few inches before suddenly stopping with a click. A low rumble follows, and the bookcase to the right shakes a bit. Aha! You step back, watching as the bookcase slides away, revealing a passage to an adjoining room. Excellent. Okay, so let's... We are going to look at every single book in this mofo. Alright, so where did we look at? Chronicles of the 12. Pick a page at random and begin reading the ancient book, a retelling of the forms known to all as the Circle of 12. Kuthagar, called the first and greatest, heeded the portent of the skies to build a demesne in the heart of Gatekeeper, to bar the way, forever vigilant and blessed with powers. Hildur, called the second, gifted with sight and tormented with the knowledge of that which would come. Mordrock's Castle of Danger. Your eyes jump about in a strange fashion as you begin reading the page. Stepping gingerly among the piles of gold, Dirk quietly moves towards the terrible beast Singe. He briefly catches the eye of Princess Daphne, who lies trapped within a life-size hourglass guarded by the hulking dragon. Their eyes meet and Dirk motions for her to stay silent as he continues towards his fateful encounter. Yorick surprises you. If I get on your nerves, just give me a friendly hit. I can take the hint. Now you're good, man. Herschel and the Never-Ending Puzzle. I wonder how many of these are going to be like paraphrasing of actual like books and fantasy novels and stuff. Like Trapped in an Hourglass. That seems really familiar. Is that like... I never played the game Dragon's Lair. But was that Dragon's Lair? I think Daphne was the princess, right? This would be amazing if all of these are like video games. Pick a spot towards the top of the page and begin reading. Wise beyond his years, Herschel gathers his boon companions Altava and young Triton from the Curious Village to begin their search for the Golden Apple. Even though their way is blocked by diabolical puzzles designed to spell their doom, Herschel counsels every puzzle has an answer. Is that... Christ, what is it? It's the puzzle guy, right? In Professor so-and-so and the whatever. Invention by Abner. You look over the writing on the page, trying to understand the cryptic words, and then the form became flesh, and with it a multitude of possibilities and probabilities, each with a different outcome, as if the form were intelligent in its design. The Tale of Ward the Elder. As you read the story, your mind vividly imagines the scene described in the book. Two siblings came across a being from beyond the sea. The being introduced itself as the One Who Wards, a godling entrusted with guarding the gates of eternity. The younger urged that they move on, since this was no business of theirs. The elder and wiser rebuked the younger, saying, "Sacrifice is subject to everything and demands equity proportional to all." Okay. Intricate scroll work around the lettering on the spine. Requiem for the Count of Cagliostro. We referencing anime now? Like Lupin? I haven't seen that one, but I know... This is totally worth looking at. You begin to read the page. Lupin pauses and looks at the band of assassins with a pained expression. As a thief, he is much better suited to fighting someone face to face is for the birds. Just when things look dark, as Jigen jumps in from the window with a shout, crashing to the ground in a roll, a wooden cudgel at the ready. This is amazing. Okay, it was this one, right? Let's see. Portent for Immortals by Gabriel. Gabriel was one of the bard, right? You pick a spot on the page and begin reading. For the immortals, these beings of power and purpose, care not for humankind. Their fragile countenance only good as fodder for the deception and machinations of the Eternals. Thus it is decreed that they shall be put low. They shall spend their time behind the barrier, guarded against the day they wreak havoc on the world once again. So presumably that's what the behemoth is. Assuming it's still the behemoth, it might be one of these things. That was a weird cling. Let's see. Father Carter's collection of rhymes and poems. Man, it's going to take a while to get through all these. You read a well-known nursery rhyme. The warder bars the gate, the warder guards the way. The warder stands within the gap, so those will not go astray. The warder stands eternal, the warder keeps the peace. The warder's purpose never changes, so those will not gain release. Collections of Man-Wolf. I mean, the thing is, someone spent their time to write all this stuff, and I really do wanna experience all of it. You randomly pick a place on the page and begin reading. Awake, you sleepers, arise, you dreamers, your hour is at hand. Those that have imprisoned you behind the gates of Shantor have lost their way. They have forgotten their past. They are corrupt beyond this generation, seeking that which they should not find. The Reign of Despairl. Struggle to read the fancy cursive lettering on the page. Eidolon surveyed the landscape, last of the Serpent Riders. He alone knew the torment that one of the fallen undergoes. The cursed light and eternal warmth of the sun is anathema, cleaving flesh from muscle and sinew from bone until all that is left is gore. Then blessed night returns, and with it, its curse is reknit to be made new once again, and the cycle continues. I find the title of this book to be fascinating. The Sailor's Way by Sawano? Intrigued by the name, you begin a passage from the middle of the book. Are the fires of hell a-glowing? Is the grisly reaper mowing? Yes, the danger must be growing, for the rowers keep on rowing, and they are certainly not showing any signs they are slowing. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Was Charlie quoting something when they're going down the chocolate thing? Was this what he was quoting? The letter on the spine is dull and faded. However, you can still read it that says the heart of the steppes. You remember reading the story as a boy. The hero laid waste to the hordes arrayed about, cleaving head from body with the ease of a veteran campaigner. The Asterian steppes... Torchlight? Lay coated in the blood of those that lay strewn about. I must take back the heart of Ordrak, the warrior thought, shouldering the strange weapons of sulfur which belches fire and metal. Right on. Note this spine of the book reads, Legend by Brown Tom. Is this... Okay, yes... Legend, the Tim Cruise movie. I mean, you know, with Tim Curry also. Tom Cruise. Did I say Tim Cruise? Pick up the story in the middle of the page. Jack coaxed the unicorn forward from its concealment, trusting that the Princess Lily would stay true to her word, that she would only observe the magical creature from afar. However, Lily, in a moment of weakness, stepped forth from the shadows and strolled towards the majestic beast. Just then, Blix leaped from the brush and fired a deadly dart into the unicorn. I like that movie. You read the tiny print on the spine of this book, Senescence by Mortis Palor. The faded lettering on the page reads, and finally at the trump at the fall of the warder, then death shall be fully unleashed. Her rising shall bring an end to the dreams of light and air. Her reign shall bring the twin souls of anguish and torment into the world. Separation shall be her sentence, the absence of good and right. I don't know what the reference is for that one. Title emblazoned on the spine of this book, Inspiritus and Elementus by Kuthagar. The faded lettering on the page proves a little difficult to read. Spirit in corporeal form can be controlled by a practitioner of the art. Most common of these familiars come from the elemental world. These servants, once mastered, will remain loyal even after death. They're primarily benign if left alone, seldom portraying aggressive behavior if handled with respect, and are creatures of habit, often returning to places they are acquainted with. Got it. So, yeah. An Oral History of the Northern Clans by Danswith Bjorn. You turn to a page and begin reading a passage. Feldrak, the younger, took the standard of his father and smote his elder upon his brow. Thus did the second line of Rora come to an end. From that day forth, the clans roamed the ancient plains as nomads, for none of the inhabitants would let them rest in one place. A three-circled rune adorns the cover of this book, followed by the name Teresias Hildur. You read the words on the yellowed parchment, and in the third age there shall befall a great portent. The sky shall bear witness to Majal's tale, the great worm. So it's probably the blue wyvern. Then all shall know the hour is at hand. The hero shall come from the first line and remake that which was hidden, and the evil shall know fear. Okay. Let's see. Torlin Travelogue by Bodane. Start reading from random place on the page. With the most striking visual on the summer solstice as views from Merethazanth. The 6 peaks of the Red Mountain that comprise Darken Range in the foreground, with the 3 mountains of the blue-tinged Dragonfell immediately behind that. Next comes the single white summit of Gatekeeper, while the spire of Adgor's Black Peak lies beyond that. This view is collectively known as the Jagged Rainbow. That's cool. It was this green one, right? The title of this book sounds intriguing. A History of Monarchs, year 1020 to 1710 by historian Lotharith. You skim down the page and begin reading. Known as the Mad King, Duggan All, Onath was murdered by the steward Stormhaven after the revolt of Bolsheviks. King Dugan was cursed by the high sorceress Mirabelle to forever crave gold and jewels even after death. Appearing as a wight, the dead king is said to kill those whom he deems thieves of his relics. Dugan, I think, was the skeleton that we found in the original that you put the scepter in. So maybe we just give him... He's probably walking around. We just give him the scepter, and he's like, okay, you're cool. Let's see. Artisans and craftsmen, metallurgy through the ages. Excuse me. Your imagine takes over as you read the story. Commissioned by the First Circle to assemble a talisman of great power, Wayland took the elder magics and infused it in the carvings on the stave, finishing it with a root said to have come from the one tree and in one wood. The orb was imbued with old arts with which to command the spirit and the elements. Together these 3 were forged as one, yet were commissioned to be separable parts that would only respond to one with the lineage from the first, the Staff of Ages. Okay. No sense to you. Experiments in social machinations. Rub your eyes as the words blur while you read the page. Observed in a commune in the east where all the population is given access to treatment from the town's shaman. Upon entrance to the commune, all those admitted donate their wealth and belongings to the community, which in turn is divvied out to all inhabitants regardless of class. This proved to be a disaster. Is this an actual, like, real-world study? I don't know what it's referencing. What about this little one in the middle? A History of Magic's 1500 to 2100 by historian Lotharith. You thumb down the page and begin reading with the last paragraph. The initiation performed in the Great Circle, nearest the entrance to the caves. Those present were solemn, knowing what was foretold and what they faced. Vandril the High oversaw the conjuration and pronounced blessings on the newly inducted Lakmir, christening him the Timeless. With this spell came the mark that would bequeath authority and dominion of all the Circle's great artifacts and workings. Yorick pipes up. I heard there are more towers within the castle, but not all can be accessed easily. Fair enough. Thal the Third. You read the famous play starting in Act 1. Now is the summer of contentment made somber winter by this moon of Thal, and all the suns that smile upon our house. In the shallow surface of sands uncovered, now are our feet free from defeat's garland, our healthy legs freed from memorials, our happy greetings changed to wistful departures. That sounds like Shakespeare. An oral history of architecture in Torlin. You stifle a yawn as you read the page. One recent example of modernism is seen in the Citadel Rise in Stormhaven. This edifice sits as a watchtower on the cliffs overlooking the bay. This is in stark contrast to the towers of the legendary Shadowgate, commissioned by Kuthgar to both reach above and blend in with the surrounding mountains. Smart. Was it this little one? Yes. What about this one? The First Circle. Start reading from a list in the open page, and those included Kuthgar I, Master of the Elements, Hildur II, Seer of Visions, Valurgers III, Mistress of Air, Akarina IV, Lady of the Lakes, Tylomar V, Master of Shadows, Chanel Ray VI, Sorceress of Illusions, Eldiel VII, High Priestess, Thorgruk VIII, the First Thaumaturge, Race Fair the 9th, Mistress of Animals, Faratulf the 10th, Summoner, Tim the 11th, the Enchanter, and Tim the Enchanter. They call me Tim. Glukshag the 12th, Necromancer. They call me Tim. Potions and Remedies by Portia. Glance over the page and begin reading. Dire circumstances. Take a pinch of formed yeast, a sweet sugar, and an extract of mint to create a tonic that cures the ills of the doldrums. Similarly, the powdered skull of Rodentia, a brackish base and bitter root shall... There's this red one, right? You can barely pronounce the first name on this book. Vericitic Scriptures of Truth. This was the blue one, I think? Yes. You read a section on the page that is underlined, and the wolves shall prowl, seeking the weak and weary. Even then, do not despair, for the one is with you, uplifting you with the might of his right arm. For the lowly shall be made high and set to overcome the barbs of the evil one. Then rejoice, for your salvation is not afar. Your pain is but a moment, then sweet release shall come to those who persevere. Reliquary of Seeing by Hildur. You crease your brow in concentration, reading the prophetic words. The fall of the circle shall come sudden from within, lasting for a time and half a time. The one appointed, he who is chosen of the line, shall brave the depths to encounter the bargain once wrought. At the end, the horn shall sound and summon the skull to scream its last. Then the way shall be opened. The way once warded shall be opened, to loose that which was restrained. Ominous. Read the title on the binding of this book, Burning Beneath the Coldwell Norst. You know, I wonder if this gap is Like in harder difficulties, it requires 2 books. You open the book and read a passage at the beginning. "O you mourners of the western folds of fair Centralia, you felt the fires burn from deep below. The steam arises after for 50 years. The people are no more, and the fires continue to burn." Clan of Drinlock by Turk Ironbond, exclaiming that you were always curious about this clan. You flip open the book to a dog-eared page and begin reading. "Pray tell the tale of Stronghold Steep, realm of the clan of Drinlock. Suffer kin of the mountain folk to ravages from times past. The Drakahan, the foul race birthed of evil arts, went among you and laid waste." That was this one, right? Yeah. You look at the spine of the book and see an embossed etching of a kitten. Oh, we gotta read this one. You flip through several pages and notice they all look the same. All have illustrations of cats with random, encouraging, yet trite sayings spelled out beneath. Aw, yeah. I don't know why it looks so dark. Like the camera, I mean. It's light enough. Read the faded title on the spine of the book. "What the Parrot Saw" by Throckmorton Fidley. I assume each of these like open book things is counting against my turn limit, but I don't care. Read a couple sentences and then stop. "Reginald was unhappy with his appearance this day. After all, he had an important meeting with the lady Alma Dryel. She will think me an unkept sot," he moaned to himself, worried that Bill had flown off and would not help with his preparations. Is that... I don't know. I don't know what that one's supposed to be. An Exploration of Thaumaturgy by Hieratic Surf. Strange name. With a yawn, you read the passage on the page. 3 parts charcoal to equal parts nitrate and sulfur. Mix well in a sieve and filter the contents of wellspring gases through. Bundle all in an envelope of rice paper soaked in the lard of a fire drake. Sounds like you're trying to make explosives. Title of this book sounds a bit fanciful. The Gate Piper by Delum Maniles. You randomly pick a place to start reading. Watch the watcher through the window and wandering skies, streaming in on sunlight wings. A million bright ambassadors of morning break the barrier and tear down the wall. There is no dark side. It all echoes at the final pulse. Okay. Read the title on the spine of the book. Tales of the Laughingstock. You thumb to a well-worn page, noting nothing humorous in it. The dirty skeleton with the glass eyes too big for its head just said, "Why, to grind your skin, of course." The girl shrank back from the menacing figure as a faraway voice called out ominously, "You have to get inside." The Founding by Leif Dridslin. Flip through the pages and begin reading page 30. For the Jultang order was made to combat those that stood against the balance, those that would bring the cities low, and the one who took up the mantle was named chieftain of all, and the founding was made to stand in the gap. Impressions of a critique. Let's see. Book contains a collection of handwritten passages. With some difficulty, you read one. The trio lacked the eloquence and instrumentality of the prior act. In fact, they did not have a harp and a lyre playing, then their percussion would have been mediocre at best. Alright, you are simply unable to read the title of this book. You flip open the book and attempt to read a page. After a few minutes of fruitless endeavor, you give up, having acquired a terrible headache. Turn your head reading the title on the spine of the book. The Buck and the Maiden. You skip to the end of the book and begin reading. The Buck asked her thus, "Have you seen the mighty oak and the unbridled sea and the towering mount?" "I have," the maiden said. "What then in this fair world is stronger? What is deeper and what is taller than these things?" replied the Buck. The woman thought for a moment before answering. "The strongest is the bind between a bridegroom and his bride. The deepest is a mother's love for her newborn babe. The tallest are the tales told around a warming fire in midwinter, young ones at foot." Fair enough. Houses in Coda by Bowman. Glance over the page and begin reading at an interesting place. Dance in the dark of night, sing to the morning light. The magic runes are writ in gold to bring the balance back. The mighty arms of Atlas hold the heavens from the earth, and one bell rings in celebration for a king who sits with elders of the gentle race that this world has seldom seen. York comes to life and says, "'Tis a sad tale indeed. This one died in his prime." Note the name of the book upon binding, A Winter's Tale. Turn to the first page and begin reading. There was once a village on the edge of the winter wood. One day a year, old men would mark their doors with sheep's blood, and old women would draw the shutters and bar the window pane. For on that very day, deep in the wood, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the Jack of the Frost would light 2 butter lamps and set them on the frozen hand of the earth near an old gnarled oak. Cardus rhymes. You read a short stanza from Elrin's Stand, a famous poem. Afore poor Elrin could lay it waste, she knelt down in a morass of hate, beseeching all who would come after that dead Elrin pay the price with laughter. Come to think of it, you never liked this poem. Well, then, we are almost done. Just like 12 books to go, something like that. Odd title on the spine, Swarming Jetsam by Lilith Eyre. Several interesting lines stand out, but it all makes little sense, and the parts that were brought together became parts of other parts. The leaves fell amongst the soil and were leaves no more, and the jellyfish were made into jelly but not fish, yet the jelly was used to fish. Indeed. Songs of the Bard of Bell Tower. You find an interesting song about May Day. Who was there when the oceans were bridled, skipping flat stones when the waters were tamed? Who was singing when the wild wood was seated, dancing on high when the forests were named? The Green Man. The Green Man, they shout from the heavens. The Green Man, they whisper from deep. The Green Man, the maypole is readied, slipping on dewdrops in the green of his keep. Okay. The Great Upheaval by Lotharith. Let's see. And thus the one was wroth. He reached his hand towards the heavens and brought forth a star set on fiery wings. This he called the Portent Superum. For the work was mighty indeed. The mountains were laid low, and the fire scorched the skies, and the Elverdan fled the plains. Penmanship on the proud honors by Fief is rather nice indeed. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. I inhaled some spit, I guess. To illustrate, look at the Tien, the great cat people of the steppes. They are honor-bound to claim a life when a life is taken. Thus, many of their young fall in with assassins and vengeful sects in a misguided attempt at raising their honor. That was this one, right? Yes. Historia at Tarragon by Quillith Piero. The Rage Wars, named for the deity of vengeance, were a time whence the rulers of Tarragon allied themselves to the northern houses, thus to bring war upon the combined clans of the Dragonfell. You stifle a yawn and put the book back on the shelf. Read the title on the spine of the book, Temps and Omens by Gunther. You speed read the page, picking out pieces of a prophecy here and there. Shall retrieve what was lost in the forest of Toroth, proving the state of blessedness, to win the symbol of the elders, the hammer of Enorth the proud, and shall lead the peoples on a holy war. That was this one? Yeah. An entreaty for a larger reality by Eldar Anham. Turn to a chapter and begin reading the ancient poem. In the stillness of the morning I hear the weakened cries of those who march as dead souls to bring more pain and strife. After a moment you decide that the author probably had nothing else to say. The book is blank except for 3 intertwined circles that are offset from each other. You open the book and see several words that stand out from the rest. Destitute, dependency, deliverance. Your head throbs as if your mind, or perhaps your spirit, is trying to comprehend an important truth. Title of the book reads The Elder. Flip through the pages and read a random excerpt from the weird tale. The younger said to the elder, And with what shall I eat my mutton? With a toothless grin, the elder pulled forth a spoon from the confines of his robes. The younger smiled in obvious delight, saying, Godspeed, my frothsome hollow friend. Right. You read the boring title on the spine of this book, Deldanian Saws by Sarish. That was this one, right? Yeah. You skip through the pages and light upon a passage that catches your interest, and the time of sorrow shall be known by the choices that the Elverdan made. That which was made falsely shall overtake their heads and lay them low. 3 sorrows shall rise to blight the land, signaling a dark age to come. 2 more. The Necromancer by Erlis Farlock. We're almost out of time. You start reading a bit of the story. The boy walked silently among the dead of the battlefield. He remembered the pain and torture the other kids subjected him to. So, with his dead dog by his side, he touched each and every one of the lifeless men. They shall remember my name, he said to himself with an evil grin. Let's see. Raven's Peak by Hersham Miles. This is the last one. Skip to the center of the book and light upon a poem and begin reading. Bring me a ship that is stout of stern, a crew of men whose fire burns, a strong wind forged in the darkened sky, a cloudless night to guide her by. Well, I really feel like I should get an achievement for reading each of those. And my torch is almost out, but that happens, right? The opening behind the bookcase appears to lead into another room. That is not surprising. If you were to hazard a guess, you believe this hidden room must have been a wizard's private study. Several fire pits are set within the floor. So we have the globe, some logs, a chain going into the pit. Right? Basically, it looks like everything. I can't tell if the fire is active or not. This rune glows with power. It is firmly attached to the stone floor. Truly, this must have belonged to one of the wizards of the circle. But it said, take. Pull with all your might, but the rune will not budge an inch from the floor. Perhaps it's enchanted. The odd markings that cover this log look familiar to you. How? The wooden log has a number of symbols carved into its bark. Weak flames burn along the bottom of the fire pit. What about the chain? A long chain dangles from some mechanism in the ceiling above. This appears to be a pile of petrified logs. This brass globe has the raised outlines of land features carved into it. The craftsmanship is uncanny. You search the breadth and width of the globe, but fail to find any way to open it. Through the low storm clouds, you can see far peaks of the mountains in the distance. This hand mirror is framed in polished silver metal. Carvings of flying dragons adorn its handle. Why would I hit it? Put the mirror in your satchel. Oh, there's a pumpkin! This round orange item has found a place within the cluttered room. It is a pumpkin. Appears to be a pile of petrified logs. And weak flames. Weak flames. What's with the green stuff coming out of this one? Study. Okay, study, library, bookcase. It doesn't say anything about the globe. Maybe use the mirror on the globe? Let's see. We'll try using the mirror on the globe. Carvings of flying dragons. You attempt to use the mirror on the globe, but fail to accomplish much of anything. Okay, what was the deal with the pumpkins? Bring the 3 pumpkins to the place beyond the harvest door. I don't think we found a harvest door. Let's try using this on this. No. Study had the globe. Yeah, originally in the NES version, the study just pretty much had the globe, which you needed to open to get the key. So, no door over here? What's going on, Jack? Okay. Let's go this way, then. Indeed. This large hall is dominated by a stained glass window rising to the height of the vaulted ceiling. Look at all those things I can burn. Even the floor. Oh. You step in for a closer look at the reflection cast upon the floor by the stained glass window. Cast from the stained glass window, the moonlight highlights a section of the floor. Well, what do I do with it? Oh. See, this is kind of what it makes sense because they're both reaching towards it, but it's kind of silly. This particular stone appears to be a little loose. See, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, where one stone, you know, you could click on all of them. Open the floor. You are unable to remove the stone with your fingers. Torch's flame momentarily flickers. Can I take it? No. What about... Let's try this. Nope. Okay. Pry bar? Maybe? Oh. Jam the bar at the edge of the stone and pry it open. A bleached skull grins at you from the hole. Skull has a symbol emblazoned on its forehead. You can't help but feel you've seen this before. I don't remember that skull, but take Wizard Skull. It's probably the one at the beginning. Pull the skull from its hiding place, placing it in your satchel. It's, yeah, probably the one at the very beginning with the door. Alright. Oh, and see, the hole is gone. And now we have more doors and a fireplace, presumably. This wrought iron poker is used to stir a fire's embers. Take it. Scroll is yellowed with age. Open it. Read the hastily written note. Fandral, I have discovered a great weakness in our defenses. Since we all have the mark, it is simply a matter of separating our heads from our shoulders. Then our remains can be used in the hidden approach, and the wards will be engaged, allowing those with the knowledge to travel the castle unopposed. One merely has to be within our walls for this to work. It is signed with 3 squiggly lines. So do I... Is it bad if I put the skull in that archway? Do I activate all the castle's defenses at that point? Freeing the giant spider and stuff? Lining the far end of the banquet room, the massive fireplace sits cold and unused, gathering dust. The door is scuffed and dented, almost as if someone tried to force it open. The door is locked. The reinforced door sits solidly within the stone frame. The door is locked. The heavy wooden door sits a little crooked within its frame. The wooden door is inlaid with a familiar iron pattern. What about this? An impressive window dominates the far side of the hall. The stained glass depicts a number of robed figures, each reaching for some type of conflagration in the heavens. An eerie glow highlights the action in the scene, almost making it come to life. How's my torch doing? Yeah. So, I mean, this chair looks like it would be uncomfortable to sit in. One leg on this overturned chair appears to be broken. Looks as if someone carelessly overturned the chair. Spot some slivers sticking out of the bottom of the chair. Oh, that's no good. One leg on this overturned chair is broken. Overturned wooden table is set with inlaid, hand-carved rosewood. Very nice. Tattered banner hangs limply. Obscure design. Worn and faded banners in need of a good cleaning. Yorick impatiently says, "This is no time for dawdling like some old seamstress." Is that a warning of how many turns I've taken? Like you're 75% of the way through your turns or something? Alright, let's light these things. Oh, you cannot reach the banner with your torch. Why did that cause lightning to strike? Right? That's kind of weird. I could probably burn all the chairs and stuff. I will use... The lit torch failed to do anything constructive to the table. Why is it doing lightning? Strange. Well, door swings open with relative ease. So I can open those two. Why? Oh, yeah, that's the way. Oh, interesting. What is this? Ah, the painting or whatever, right? Floor. Let's go through. Passage beyond opens into darkness. You can see a set of winding stone stairs beyond this doorway. This hallway appears to have seen a very violent, intense battle. Is this the one that... Like, this is the one where you go through and it crushes you, right? Heavy door, discolored and rotting, appears to be made of oak. Door swings open. Let's take the torches. Yeah, I wondered if you could click on the rubble. Far side of the hallway looks to have caved in, making the way forward unpassable. The rich wood of this door is inscribed with a lion breathing fire. The door is locked. Take the torch. Let's try going through then. Leads outside to the battlements. The castle's fortifications sit like an impenetrable wall against the relentless onslaught of the Raging Storm. Battlement. That's fine, I can go through the other one. We'll save here and we'll stop. Right, go that way or check out the statue. Let's look at it real fast. Standing on a base inscribed with the words Reliant Triumphant, a marble angelic statue reaches to the skies, an empty slot set within its outstretched arm. Yeah, it's probably where you put the lightning rod, presumably. Ancient script covers the part of the wall of the battlements. Try as you might, you can't understand a word. Let's go this way. Go to the stairs. You nearly slip on the damp, well-worn stones. Situated on the edge of a deep chasm, the castle's defenses end in a fortified watchtower. Talk to Lakmir. Looks like a bow. Sack and something else. Save. How many turns? Let's take a look. 565. Yeah, about 100 turns, right? Jeez. Still, that's okay. Alright guys, that is it for today. That is it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. I really hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. This is a lot of fun. It's really neat seeing, you know, a reimagined Shadowgate, basically. Yeah. What is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, it's on the last episode I was drinking some tea. It was chai tea, which I like. So that's my unique positive moment. Hopefully your guys is just as good, if not better. Hopefully better, of course. And I hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.